Stop pretending time will wait for you. It won't. Every hesitation you make is being monetized by someone else. Quietly, strategically, ruthlessly. You stand at the edge of a financial storm that will not slow down for your comfort, your doubts, or your naive belief that things eventually solve themselves. They don't. You either act before the year ends, or the year ends you. This isn't motivation. It's a threat disguised as reality, because the truth is simple. The rich get richer not because they're lucky, but because they move early, strike fast, and exploit the openings everyone else is too blind or emotional to notice. And if you ignore this shift happening right now, you'll wake up in January exactly where you've always been, explaining your failures to people who stopped listening long ago. You can't afford that again. Not this year. You've wasted too many Decembers believing money responds to good intentions. It never has. Money respects only control, timing, and intelligence. You've played defensively while others played strategically. You reacted while others anticipated. You hoped while others calculated. And the result is written in your account balance. You're here because something inside you refuses to tolerate that story for another year. Good. Use it. You're about to see why the wealthy accelerate at year's end while everyone else collapses under emotional spending and impulsive mistakes. You're going to understand the 7 shifts that separate financial predators from financial prey, and whether you adopt them or ignore them will determine whether the next 12 months become a climb or a fall. Hold your breath, because the first truth hits hard. You're poor in December not because you lack opportunities, but because you lack structure. You believe change happens from inspiration? It doesn't. Change happens from force. You don't rise by feeling ready. You rise by acting before you're comfortable, often before you even fully understand what you're doing. The rich know this. They move when the window is narrow, not when it's safe. That's why you need to absorb the next lines like they're oxygen. Stop waiting for clarity. Act while others hesitate. Winter rewards the cold. Every December, the same trap destroys millions of people. Emotional spending, uncontrolled generosity, social pressure disguised as holiday spirit, and the belief that January will bring a fresh start. January brings nothing but bills. And the world doesn't care that you meant well. But here's the twist the poor never see. December is the most strategic month of the year. Not because of celebrations, but because panic makes people sloppy. When people are distracted, the intelligent take ground. When people chase pleasure, the disciplined seize advantage. When people fall asleep, someone else steals their throne. You must become that someone. Look around you. People are numbing themselves with purchases they cannot afford. They're drowning in decorations, guilt-driven gifts, and overpriced distractions that keep them financially unconscious. They call it joy, but joy isn't bought. It's rented, and the bill always arrives. The wealthy know this. They watch the chaos with the calm eyes of hunters waiting for the herd to run itself into exhaustion. They understand cycles, timing, and emotional decay. They prepare as everyone else unravels, and that's why they enter the new year elevated, while you've entered it empty. You must learn their timing. What you're witnessing right now is not a holiday season, it's a battlefield. And you're either a soldier or a casualty. Every decision you make right now either fortifies your future or sabotages it. Every dollar you protect is a soldier that will fight for you later. Every dollar you waste becomes an enemy. Still think money is neutral? It's not. Money is war, and in war, hesitation kills. The rich don't hesitate in December. They accelerate, they reposition, they scout opportunities while everyone else sleeps. They invest when prices drop under seasonal pressure. They buy assets when others are dumping liabilities. They negotiate when people are too emotionally drained to resist. December is not their break. It's their breakthrough. You must shift the way you see this month. Because if you keep approaching it with emotion instead of calculation, you will continue to be the victim of a game you didn't even know you were playing. Here's the first strategic punch you need to absorb. Your environment is your enemy. Every December, it pushes you toward impulsive spending, social compliance, and financial self-sabotage disguised as tradition. You must impose isolation between your goals and other people's expectations. If someone pressures you, remember, they won't pay your bills in January. Detach from them. You're not here to please anyone. You're here to rise. There's a cold truth hiding beneath every Christmas light. People want you spending because it benefits them. Stores want profit. Brands want your fear of missing out. Families want validation. Society wants conformity. The only one protecting your wallet is you. This month exposes your weakness. It reveals your emotional leaks, your lack of boundaries, your addiction to approval, and your fear of saying no. And once you see that clearly, you're forced to confront the most ruthless rule of wealth. The rich protect their resources even when others judge them. If you bow to social pressure, you lose. If you let your pride dictate your purchases, you lose. If you let guilt drive your spending, you lose. If you think generosity excuses irresponsibility, you lose. And while you're losing, someone else is quietly positioning themselves to win. This is where your shift begins. You must replace your emotional triggers with strategic behavior. Purpose must replace impulse. Calculation must replace generosity. Control must replace chaos. Because this month is not about traditions, it's about transitions. It's the strongest or the weakest 30 days of your year. A single December can turn you into a champion or a servant. Choose correctly. Now breathe, because the next truth requires a colder mind. Your greatest financial enemy isn't debt or expenses or even inflation. It's the identity you carry into December. You still see yourself as someone trying to survive the month instead of someone prepared to conquer it. And identity precedes action. If you approach these weeks with the mindset of a consumer, you will behave like one, reactive, emotional, and predictable. But if you approach them like a strategist, everything changes. You start seeing traps instead of temptations. You start seeing risks instead of celebrations. You start seeing opportunities instead of obligations. You move with precision, not panic. Listen carefully. The rich don't see December as the end of the year. They see it as the start of the next one. They are already positioned for the coming cycle while you're still recovering from the last. You must switch your timeline. Your year doesn't start in January. That's a myth sold to the masses to keep them predictable. Your year starts the moment you stop acting like everyone else, which is right now. This is where the wealthy begin to widen the gap. They move when others stop. They buy when others splurge. They negotiate when others celebrate. They rearrange their finances while others pretend everything is fine. They plan while others escape reality. They rise because everyone else is too distracted to notice. You must step outside of the herd. The moment you do, you'll feel your perspective sharpen. You'll notice how manipulation is baked into every December tradition. You'll see the psychological traps hiding in celebrations. You'll watch people voluntarily destroy their future for the illusion of a joyful present. It will shock you how predictable they are. And when you see that, a different thought enters your mind, one you've tried to avoid your entire life. You've been one of them. Every December you've played by the same script. You apologized with gifts. You bought validation. You drowned anxiety in purchases. You decorated your house to distract yourself from your bank account. You spent money to feel temporarily powerful while weakening your actual power. No more. This is your turning point. Your awakening. The moment your financial identity shifts from prey to predator. Because wealth doesn't begin with money. It begins with identity. If you see yourself as weak, you will act weak. If you see yourself as powerful, decisive, and strategic, you will transform your financial reality faster than you ever believed possible. You decide who walks into January, the version of you who buys emotions, or the version who buys power. Your future depends on whether you can hold your line in a month designed to break it, because December is a pressure chamber. The masses fold under it, the powerful rise through it. And the reason is simple. Strength isn't shown when things are easy. It's shown when the world tempts you to fall and you refuse. You must become immune to emotional pressure. Because every time someone expects you to spend, you're being tested. Every time someone pushes you to enjoy the moment, They're asking you to abandon your future to comfort their present. Every time someone tells you money comes back, they mean your money, not theirs. You are surrounded by traps disguised as celebrations, and the first step toward power is recognizing them without blinking. Look closer at the people around you. Watch how quickly they lose control. Observe how they justify irrational decisions with emotional excuses. Pay attention to how the calendar turns them into predictable targets for corporations, marketers, and every manipulator who understands human weakness. They are victims because they behave like victims, guided by impulse instead of intelligence. You won't follow them. Your strength emerges in the silence between your impulses. When you feel the urge to spend, pause. When you feel the pressure to conform, step back. When you feel guilt, confront it. Every one of these moments is a doorway. Either you walk through as a master or collapse as a servant. This month exposes the truth. Most people don't lose money because they're poor. They lose because they lack discipline. Rich or poor, it doesn't matter. Discipline is the dividing line between those who grow and those who decay, and that's why December destroys so many lives. It punishes the weak with precision. Here is the moment your mind must shift again. You can no longer think of your finances as numbers. You must think of them as soldiers. Each dollar is a weapon, a shield, a piece of territory. When you waste them, you disarm yourself. When you protect them, you build an army. By the time January comes, people look around confused, wondering where their money went, why their credit is rising, why their anxiety is choking them again. But you won't wonder. You'll know exactly where your money stands, because you placed every dollar with purpose. This is the difference between a strategist and a dreamer. Move like a strategist. And if you feel resistance rising in you, good. That means you're confronting the identity that kept you broke. Resistance is the death scream of your old self. Let it scream, then silence it with action. You are not here to be comfortable. Comfort is the luxury of people protected by someone else's strength. You don't have that protection. You must build your own. This is where the first scene unfolds. You're standing in a store surrounded by crowds. Music is loud. Sales signs everywhere. People grabbing things they don't need. Smiling as if spending is a victory. Inside you feel a pull, the familiar whisper telling you to treat yourself, to join in, to make the moment feel special. You take a step forward, almost unconsciously, almost willing to repeat your old pattern. Then you stop. You watch a man next to you load his cart with items he'll regret tomorrow. His face is excited now, but hollow underneath. He's buying the illusion of joy, not joy itself. And at that moment, you feel something shift. You realize you don't want that fate anymore. You turn around empty-handed, calm, and strangely powerful. You didn't just save money, you declared war on your old habits, and you won the first battle. That's how transformation begins. Control in small moments becomes dominance in larger ones. And this leads you to the next revelation. People lose money in December because they don't understand the psychology of scarcity. Not scarcity of money, scarcity of discipline. The fewer disciplined people exist, the more rewards flow to the ones who are. You gain power simply by doing what others refuse to do. Scarcity creates advantage. If you resist temptation when others collapse, you pull ahead without even trying. Now you must face another truth. Money doesn't respond to desire. It responds to direction. If you don't give your resources strict orders, they will defect. Money refuses to serve the undisciplined. It only serves those who treat it like a soldier under command. Here's where your mind sharpens again. A dangerous thought enters. But I want to enjoy the holidays too. Of course you do, but enjoyment without intelligence becomes regret. A powerful person knows that pleasure is a tool, not an escape. You control it. It doesn't control you. And now, exactly here, you need to hear something cold. People more disciplined than you are taking the opportunities you are hesitating on. If this message is sharpening your mind, good. If it's irritating you, even better. That irritation is your weakness trying to defend itself. Crush it. Because someone stronger than you is watching this same moment, making a decision you still haven't made. If they subscribe and you don't, They'll absorb every strategy before you do. They'll rise faster than you while you fall behind. The world will not wait for you to be ready. Power never waits. It moves toward whoever proves they deserve it. Don't be the one who hesitates. Hesitation is how people stay broke forever. Now breathe. Your focus deepens here. You must understand the next rule to survive this month. Money flows toward clarity and flees from confusion. If your financial life is chaotic, money will not stay with you. Chaos repels wealth the same way rot repels health. That's why December feels dangerous. It amplifies whatever you already are. If you're structured, it makes you sharper. If you're unstable, it makes you collapse. Here's the next image you need burned into your mind. A man sits at his kitchen table late at night in early January, staring at a credit card statement he's too ashamed to show anyone. His hands shake. His stomach tightens. He scrolls through purchases he barely remembers making. Gifts, dinners, decorations, impulses, guilt-driven spending, approval chasing. He destroyed his future in 30 days. He won't sleep tonight. He won't recover for months. He will pretend everything is fine. You won't end up like him, because you're learning what he never knew. Wealth punishes emotional decisions. You must operate with a cold mind. That's what separates the powerful from the predictable. Now your identity must shift again. You're no longer viewing December as something happening to you. You're viewing it as terrain. Terrain you must navigate with precision. Every hill, every valley, every trap is visible to you now. Your next move determines your next year. You must become the person who calculates before you commit, the person who acts without seeking approval, the person who invests when the world is distracted, the person who protects resources while others leak them through emotion, the person who refuses to lose another year to impulses that give nothing back. This is where you become dangerous. Because once you control your financial behavior in December, the hardest month of the year, you can control it anywhere. After that, money becomes predictable. Opportunities become visible. Growth becomes inevitable. You will never fear January again. And now you're ready for the next transformation, confronting the 7 behaviors that guarantee poverty if left unchecked. You're about to learn the precise moves that the wealthy use while others sleepwalk through the month. These are not suggestions, they are survival laws. Break them and the year will break you. Follow them and you will rise above everyone around you. The first law is simple but brutal. Protect your cash flow with militant discipline. Every December, people destroy their liquidity. You won't. Liquidity is oxygen. Lose it, and you suffocate. The second law, eliminate emotional spending at all costs. Emotion is the enemy of wealth. Every purchase must pass through logic, not loneliness. The third law, attack your highest liability first. Debt is a parasite. Kill the largest one, and the rest weaken. The fourth law, double your income attempts in December. When others slow, you accelerate. This creates asymmetric advantage. The fifth law, cut one major financial leak permanently. A single eliminated drain can save you more than 1 million motivational speeches ever will. The sixth law, redirect every unnecessary dollar into an asset. Even a small seed planted now becomes power later. The seventh law, upgrade your financial identity. You rise to the standard you enforce. These laws are your foundation. But you need more than laws. You need actions. Actions create transformation. Without them, this becomes just another December where you learned something but changed nothing. And that ends now. Here is where the second scene unfolds. You walk past a restaurant buzzing with energy. People cheering, drinking, celebrating as if consequences don't exist. A group of coworkers calls your name, urging you to join. They wave you over with laughter and open arms. You feel the pull, familiar, warm, tempting. But inside, something else awakens. A cold clarity, a sharper identity. You picture your goals. You picture the life you want. You picture the price of distraction. So you look at them, not with contempt, but with certainty. And you shake your head with a calm smile. They don't understand now, but they will later. You keep walking, steady and silent. And as you move away, a strange feeling fills you. Not regret, but power. You didn't miss out. You stepped ahead. This is the moment you become someone others will envy next year. Now your perspective is locked. The month can't manipulate you anymore. You see through the illusions. You see the truth behind every temptation. You see your old identity dissolving, and you finally see the path forward. The only question left is whether you have the courage to walk it without flinching, because the year is ending, and the window is closing fast. You're either rising now or repeating everything that hurt you before. Here is your final moment of clarity. If you walk into January unchanged, nothing in your life will change. If you hesitate now, someone stronger will take the opportunities meant for you. If you remain passive, the world will shape you. If you act with precision, you will shape the world. You know what must be done. You know what's at stake. You know this is your chance to break the cycle forever. So listen carefully, subscribe now, not later. Now. Because this channel is not for everyone. It's for the few who refuse to stay weak. The few who act before others understand. The few who rise while the world sleeps. If you belong to that group, prove it. Power bends around disciplined men. That is why the end of the year punishes you when your discipline dies. December is not a month, it is a trap. It tempts you with comfort, urges you to loosen your guard, and whispers that you can recover later. You never do. In the Machiavellian view, the fall of a man begins the second he believes he can relax before the war is over. You enter December, carrying the consequences of 11 months of choices. Every weakness multiplies, every delay compounds, every financial wound reopens. You cannot hide from any of them. The strong treat December like a battlefield. The weak treat it like a holiday. That is why one group finishes the year richer and the other finishes humiliated. Observe the world around you. People spend faster, think slower, and fall into traps they would avoid any other month. Sales, distractions, invitations, emotional purchases, ego-driven gifts, and desperate attempts to feel better about wasted months. This is not coincidence, it is strategy. The system profits when you stop thinking. You lose the moment you stop calculating. Hold this truth. The final month rewards the cold, not the joyful. The ones who can say no, not the ones who want to feel good. You have been trained to believe the opposite. That is why your account empties while someone else's grows. December amplifies your habits. It punishes disorder. It magnifies your emotional spending. It exposes the gap between who you claim to be and how you actually behave when pressure rises. And you feel it. You feel the panic in your chest when you look at your numbers. You feel the guilt when you remember what you wasted. You feel the fear that next year will look exactly the same. But fear means nothing if you don't convert it into strategy. Move now, or December will eat you alive. You must understand the first law. Money flows toward the most disciplined mover, not the smartest, not the highest earner, the one who restrains impulses and executes consistently while everyone else sleeps. If you want December to stop destroying you, stop behaving like the crowd December was designed to destroy. Never forget, your financial status right now is not a mystery, it is a mirror. Every small concession you made throughout the year is staring back at you. You must face it without emotion. Emotion has never saved you. Emotion has only guided you into debt, regret, and lost opportunities. Stand still for a moment and observe your life like a strategist, not a victim. Where is the leak? Where is the weakness? Where is the gap between your intention and your discipline? When you see it, cut it cleanly. Do not negotiate with it. Negotiation is how men stay broke. Here is the mechanism you must internalize. December exposes your financial psychology, not your income. High-income men fall. Low-income men rise. The ones who win understand that December is psychological warfare disguised as celebration. The moment you forget this, you walk into the trap willingly. You must treat your attention like a blade. Sharp, controlled, aimed, The world wants your attention scattered because scattered attention creates predictable spending. If they can engineer your impulses, they can engineer your losses. Hold the blade still, cut the noise, sharpen your awareness. Now pay attention. There is a reason the wealthy never relax in December. They understand that power consolidates when others are unguarded. They do not chase pleasure during this month. They chase leverage. While the world spends, they acquire. While the world wastes, they advance. While the world collapses under emotional spending, they strengthen their position. You cannot copy their results without copying their ruthlessness. Stop assuming that discipline will magically appear. Discipline is a weapon, not a feeling. You wield it with force or you lose it. You must impose structure on yourself, especially when the world around you dissolves into chaos. December is engineered chaos. You must be engineered control. Hold this boundary. No impulse spending, no emotional buying, no ego gifts. No, I deserve this. You deserve nothing you haven't earned. If that sentence hurts, let it hurt. Pain cleans illusions. Illusions cost you money. Here is the first move. Calculate what December truly cost you every year. Not the gifts, not the parties, the decisions. The overeating that drains energy. The oversleeping that kills momentum. The day drinking that destroys mornings. The false urgency created by sales. Add all of it. That number is why you stay broke. Eliminate it without hesitation. Your environment will resist you. People will judge you. They will call you cold, stingy, or strange. Let them. They are defending their own financial prison. They want you in it because your discipline exposes their lack of it. Do not soften to avoid their discomfort. Internalize this. You cannot save your money and save their feelings. Choose one. Now you anchor the second move. Weaponize silence. You speak less. You justify nothing. You explain nothing. You say no with a neutral voice and an unreadable face. When people see they cannot manipulate you, they stop trying. Silence is a shield. It protects your money from emotional ambush. Remember this principle. If you do not set the boundary, someone else will spend your money for you. They will invite you, pressure you, guilt you, or subtly mock you until you give in. When you stand firm, they retreat. When you hesitate, they devour you. Hold the line. No bending. No exceptions. Now the third move. Redirect December's energy. While others spend, you accumulate. While others buy liabilities, you buy assets. While others drown in entertainment, you drown in strategy. Investment accounts, savings buffers, business tools, skill acquisitions, these are the weapons of men who win the last month instead of losing it. Ask yourself the most brutal question. Do you want comfort or freedom? Comfort is bought. Freedom is built. Choose. You will notice something once you apply these rules. People will distance themselves from you. They will sense a shift they cannot explain. Good. That distance is part of the transformation. Weak men lose people because of failure. Strong men lose people because of discipline. You are not here to be understood. You are here to rise. Watch how the world reacts when you stop playing the December game. They will call you boring. They will say you changed. They will mock your resistance. Then they will secretly wish they had your strength. Your growth humiliates their stagnation. Here is your fourth move. Eliminate financial fog. Fog is uncertainty. Fog is avoidance. Fog is the illusion that everything will work out without precision. You clear it by confronting numbers daily. Accounts, spending, income, projections, goals. No hiding, no flinching. If the numbers hurt, let them. Reality is a weapon. Use it. You cannot defeat an enemy you refuse to look at. Your enemy is disorganization. Your enemy is impulse. Your enemy is the story you tell yourself every December to justify weakness. Replace the story with strategy. The fifth move. Increase your standard ruthlessly. Standards determine wealth more than income. Low standards create leaks. High standards create power. Raise every standard now. Sleep earlier, wake earlier, work sharper, plan farther, spend colder, think longer. December rewards the highest standard, not the highest hope. The mechanism is simple. When you raise your standard, your behavior rises automatically. When your behavior rises, your results accelerate. When your results accelerate, December becomes an opportunity instead of a threat. Now comes your sixth move: confront the December lie, the belief that the year is effectively over. This belief kills momentum. You still have 30 days to shift your trajectory. 30 days of discipline beats 11 months of drifting. Winners accelerate in December because the field is empty. Their competition is drunk, distracted, and asleep. Cut through them. You must see December as the opening they are too blind to see. And now the seventh move. Build your January today. Do not wait. The weak wait for symbolic dates. The strong engineer momentum before the year begins. You must have goals set, plans built, numbers defined, systems ready. You enter January already moving while others are still making resolutions they will break before day 10. You win the year before it starts. When you practice these 7 moves, something shifts inside you. You feel your power solidify. You feel your direction sharpen. You feel your emotions lose influence. You step into the next year already ahead of men who won't even start until the holiday haze evaporates. They will watch you rise and call it luck. Let them. They never saw the war you fought while they slept. As the year ends, remember this final image. You, standing alone in a quiet room, lights low, reviewing your numbers and sharpening your plan. There is calm in your chest. There is precision in your mind. There is hunger in your eyes. You do not celebrate yet. You do not relax yet. You prepare. Because men like you do not wait for opportunities. You create them, and you protect them with iron discipline. If you want to rise with the few instead of falling with the many, you already know what to do. Stay sharp, stay cold, stay calculating. And if you're one of the rare men strong enough to stay in this circle of power, subscribe now, before someone stronger takes the advantage you just abandoned. You must understand what happens inside a man the moment he decides to stop letting December dictate his fate. The internal shift is violent. It feels like cutting away parts of yourself that once felt comfortable. But comfort is the currency that keeps you broke. The wealthy understand this. They amputate weakness before weakness infects their results. You will feel resistance rise inside you. Your body will crave the old patterns. Your mind will whisper the old lies. It's only one time. You deserve a break. You'll fix everything next year. These are not thoughts. These are traps. And every trap has a designer. Do not fall into systems created to extract your potential and convert it into someone else's profit. Hold your silence when temptation circles you. Your silence protects your direction. Your silence protects your future. Your silence protects the version of you who refuses to end another year in regret. Controlled silence is strategy. Controlled emotion is leverage. Controlled behavior is wealth. People around you will not understand this transformation. They will say you are acting differently. They will say you are distant or rigid. They are correct. You are no longer one of them. You are becoming a threat to their comfort, and threats are always attacked first. Expect it. Endure it. Ignore it. The path of discipline isolates you before it elevates you. Now picture the first scene. You're at a gathering with co-workers. They laugh loudly, drink carelessly, and spend recklessly. They tease you for not buying rounds, for leaving early, for sticking to your plan. They mock what they secretly envy. Hours later, as they stumble into expensive ride shares and wake up broke and exhausted, you are already home, already planning, already building. Their mockery fades. Your advantage remains. Second scene, a family dinner. Someone pressures you to participate in a gift exchange you never agreed to. They try to guilt you into spending more than you can afford. When you hold the line, your refusal irritates them. Their reaction is predictable. They want your compliance because your boundary reveals their own lack of control. But after the tension settles, you walk away intact, financially and psychologically. They walk away with nothing but the memory of their own emotional dependency. These moments define your new identity. A man who does not bend under pressure becomes a man others eventually follow. Carry this insight. The rich do not wait for the world to change before they move. They move and force the world to adjust. Their power comes from consistency, not chaos. They weaponize every month that weak men waste. December is simply the most profitable month to exploit weakness at scale. And your weakness has been exploited for years, but not this time. This time, you see the pattern. You see the psychological manipulation behind holiday moods, behind end-of-year rewards, behind every distraction designed to fracture your discipline. You see how your emotions were used as a leash. You see how your impulses were engineered. You see how your financial failures were predictable outcomes of predictable behavior. Awareness is the beginning of dominance. Now, understand this final mechanism. Wealth accelerates when your decisions stop contradicting your goals. Every year you wanted more money while behaving like someone who didn't. You wished for abundance while practicing waste. You desired growth while indulging in excuses. This contradiction is the root of your stagnation. Remove it, and your trajectory transforms instantly. To eliminate the contradiction, your actions must align with a new rule. You act like the man you want to become, not the man you have been. That rule is the lever. That rule is the shift. That rule is the reason the wealthy pass you by with such ease. They adopt the identity first and the results follow. You wait for results before adopting the identity. This keeps you trapped. Start behaving like a disciplined strategist before you have the money, and the money will come. Do this now or stay broke forever. Remember that December is not your enemy. Your lack of structure is. Your rationalizations are. Your emotional spending is. December is simply the mirror. The reflection is yours. But reflections can be rewritten. You rewrite it through force, not hope. Through discipline, not desire. Through clarity, not chaos. Picture the closing image. You in a dim room, sitting alone at a table, a single light above your head, your accounts open, your plans laid out, your mind sharpened to a blade. No noise, no weakness, no drift, only direction, only dominance, only strategy. You breathe slowly, deliberately. The world outside is asleep, distracted, and decaying. But you, cold, focused, relentless, are rising. This is how new empires begin. If you have the spine to stay in the circle of men who refuse to collapse at the end of the year, claim your place now. Subscribe and stay where the weak never survive. The next move belongs to you unless someone stronger takes it first.